Surviving infidelity. Parents want us to reconcile. Almost 4 months ago, my best friend's wife tells me my wife and her husband are having an affair. My soon-to-be ex-wife was careful, he was not. Other betrayed spouse gave me lots of proof including x-ting and pictures. Once I learned the affair has been going on for a few years, I was done. Call logs and texts dated back when I was still working 16-hour days earning my engineering degree, including nights that were supposedly girls' nights out and I was at home watching kids. Her friends were all cheating on their husbands and covering for each other. Other betrayed spouse decided to reconcile, purely out of lack of financial means to leave affair partner. I chose to leave my wayward spouse. I got a lawyer and proceeded to make a plan before confronting her. Once I had everything I needed, I kicked my wayward spouse out of my house, changed the locks, split the accounts, and served her papers. She has zero claim to the house and I had movers ship her stuff to her parents. She's fallen on hard times since we split. She's had to get a place with college-age roommates and start working 2 jobs. Today, my parents and her parents had their own intervention of sorts wanting us to reconcile for the kids. The kids are fine, they're with me 90% of the time. Our parents have been listening to her sob stories while she minimizes the fact she was banging my best friend this whole time. She's super sorry so it's okay. They railed about the way I publicly outed her affair and threw her out. They called it immature and vindictive. Furthermore, they think me staying in contact with the other betrayed spouse is inappropriate, despite being friends with her and her family for over a decade. They even accused us of having an inappropriate relationship despite having zero proof of anything remotely inappropriate. We are not having intercourse. We are not kissing. We are not dating. We babysit kids for each other, drink coffee and talk, and exchange non-intimate favors. I save her a plate of food if her kids stay for dinner a few times a week she's in class. I'm the only family other betrayed spouse has in our state since her family has distanced themselves from her after her husband got caught and has been sent to prison for intercourse with minors, including other betrayed spouse underage cousin, and embezzling money from real estate investors shortly after he was outed for cheating. I'm beside myself. I feel gutted and betrayed all over again. Even though I've told her it's over and tried my best to go minimal contact, she just can't take no for an answer and now has everyone on her side. I'm not taking her back. She's just sorry she got caught and her affair partner went to prison and lost all that money. She's not sorry for betraying me for years while playing me for a complete fool. I worked for years to give her and I a good life, and I got crapped on. She'd still be screwing him in a hotel room or his car on her back had she not been caught by his wife. My soon-to-be ex-wife also made the accusations other betrayed spouse outed her to get revenge on her and steal her life. My wayward spouse is now saving herself for when I take her back. Other betrayed spouse life has been a big train wreck. She and her kids were penniless and almost homeless since Dippish had their assets seized. I've given enough to make sure that didn't happen. She's lost most of her family through this. None of this was her fault and she was just as blindsided as I was. She's been a true friend and a confidant through all of this. Now for the top comments. There is a weird gap in your story. How did your best friend end up in prison? Tell your parents to mind their own business. And that if they do not mind their own business, they won't be seeing their grandchildren. Your soon-to-be ex-wife made her bed, she gets to live in the filth she built. He was having intercourse with other betrayed spouse underage cousin. She came forward after she found out about his affair with my soon-to-be ex-wife. Several other women have come forward and pressed charges as well. He's also a real estate developer. While he was in jail, his panicked real estate investors discovered he had been spending and stealing an estimated $500,000 by paying for repairs under the table by unlicensed workers, not paying taxes on anything, cutting corners and charging for work he didn't do, charging literally everything to his business card not work-related, not getting building approvals and inspections etc. So he'll get out about the same time he gets a senior citizen discount. The crazy part is, he's been doing this for over 10 years and never got caught. Everyone thought he was making bank because he was good at his job. Even his investors were surprised. You should make it clear to your soon-to-be ex-in-laws that they are never to contact you again, and to your parents they are out of your life until they offer a full apology and do not re-offend. Rampant prolonged infidelity is mistreatment and they are trying to yoke you to your abuser. Despicable. So what's gonna happen when his wife, who probably still gets to see the kid, lets them over? We do not talk about our past relationship or I'm pushing for full custody. She can't afford a place to live, let alone a lawyer. Damn, I almost hope you end up with other betrayed spouse at this point just to make the point to everyone else to screw off. The only ones you owe a response to are your parents, but they are being stupidly ridiculous. Set them straight alone, without her stupid parents. Explain the facts as they are as you've laid them out. Explain how incredibly inappropriate it was for them to think they have the right to tell you what to do with your life or to trust the words of someone else instead of coming straight to you. And then tell them to cut the crap out, or they are at risk of being cut off from you and their grandchildren. This will be the last that you speak of any event related to this, and if they ever bring it up again, expect it to be the last conversation you have with them for a long time. You're right. They crossed a lot of boundaries and stepped into my marriage, and I'm very upset they stuck their nose in without getting all the facts. I hope they snap out of this and realize it's never going to happen. I've been diplomatic but firm. I guess time will tell what kind of relationship we end up with. Still, they're the grandparents, so I really hope they choose to simply accept and move on and not make this more difficult. I'm doing my best to keep the relationship intact and close with their grandchildren. Now for the last story. Update: caught wife x-ting, pics, videos with SRO officer at school she works at. Original post: it's been over a week now since I went through my wife of 2.5 years phone, and found out she had been having a relationship with the SRO officer at the school she works at. We have one child who is 3 years old, the other guy is also married with a child. She admitted it had been on and off for 6 months or so. She was pregnant last year and miscarried at 12 weeks. My first thought was questioning if it was mine. She told me it was never physical and it was only ever just words, pictures and videos. I saw things I never knew she was capable of. She told me she had been mostly unhappy our whole marriage and that I was never emotionally available. I'll admit I had been verbally abusive at times. Fast forward 5 days after telling her we needed time apart and splitting time with our daughter, I spoke with an attorney and didn't like what he had to say. I make 9 times give or take what she makes because she has never worked full-time since we've been together, and we have put a lot of time and money on additions to our house, on top of rental property I had prior to our marriage. I wasn't ready to start that process, so I'll let her come back. I have already started therapy, but she still hasn't, even though she said she will. A part of me regrets letting her come back because she basically got off with little to no consequences. I think I want to work things out, but I know she gaslights me and is extremely manipulative. I'm just lost and depressed, and I'm hoping to find answers through therapy. Quick backstory: she got pregnant as soon as I finished my undergrad. She dropped out and hasn't gone back to finish. I rolled right into my master's program when our daughter was born. I was never not working full-time, and I've also been in the reserves for going on 7 years now, which she admitted to being mostly involved with him on the weekends I was gone. I knew I was busy, I just thought it's what I had to do. We weren't married when she got pregnant, we were barely even dating. I fell in love with her quick, even before she got pregnant. She has told me in the past that this was forced, and I feel like she resents me for our relationship. And I've also told her before that I'm not sure if we'd be married if it wasn't for our daughter. Is there any hope for us? Now for the top advice before reading the update. Wasn't physical? And you believe this because why? Because she said so? This coming from the same woman that's been involved with another man and lying to your face for 6 months, so she claims. So when you were gone on weekends, they just texted and sent pics and videos. Of course they did. They see each other every day and have all but had virtual intercourse and seen each other naked, but you believe it was never physical in the 6 months they've been at it? Tell us why again, in case we missed it. Wake up and wipe the sleep out your eyes, brother. You know better. Edit, just an afterthought. Why have you not told his wife about what is going on? I reread your post and I see nothing mentioning having outed him to his wife. She has the right to know, and you have the responsibility to tell her what is going on. I know if the shoe was on the other foot, you would have appreciated it if she had told you. Isn't it incredible that intelligent adults will believe that adults with a mutual attraction will exchange nude/intimate photos and videos, profess their love each other but didn't allow the affair to get physical? How friggin' naive can someone get? I get what you're saying, but sometimes intelligent people are in denial. They want to believe that is all their spouse is doing. I get it. Nobody ever wants to believe the person they are with is an immoral having cheater. You talked a lot about what you're doing. The thing that matters is what is she doing? Also, don't let her blame any of this on you. Regardless of your faults, she made decisions to go outside the marriage for attention and likely intercourse. Be prepared for a lot of trickle truth. I'd pull the ripcord, but we all have to make our own way. So if she isn't making changes on her own without you telling her what she needs to do, she doesn't care, period. She'll eventually probably ask you what she needs to do, and she'll want some kind of list so she can check off the boxes. That means nothing, by the way. You're gonna always know it was just to check off the boxes so you would shut up. Then it allows her to say, "We'll see, I did what you told me to. Why are you complaining?" They need to do it on their own. They need to do the research and figure out the things that are going to fix things. They can ask you like, "Hey, do you think if I did this that would be of assistance to you?" That would be one thing, and answer those questions. But if she needs you to tell her what to do, forget it. What is up happening is, you know when your mind what they're doing. And so then the action, despite the fact that maybe it was hard for them to do, becomes less meaningful. It becomes something that they only did because you said for them to do it. And it's not like it's hard for them to figure out what the right actions are. It's all over the internet, in books, going to a therapist. Based on where she's at, you are going to have a miserable life going forward. I knew a guy who stuck by just for his kid. By the time she turned 18 he left the marriage and finally got a divorce. He looked like he aged 10,000 years and was so miserable for giving up his life. Better off to leave and pay the penalties that you don't deserve to pay, but at least you get peace of mind. Most states alimony only goes for 2 to 3 years anyways. Then she will be on her own. While 2 to 3 years sucks to be footing the bill for a remorseless cheater, I'd say it's far cheaper than a lifetime of caution tying that weight. Go speak to another lawyer. The first one isn't always the best. I don't have access to her phone anymore, so I just delicately pry to see what all I can get for answers. I feel like I'm still looking for that final truth that will kick me in the direction of serving her papers. If she was meeting up with him on weekends you were gone, it was physical. Adults don't text, send videos to each other, then meet up and only hug and kiss. Does she even show any remorse at all? Does she want to stay in the marriage? Access to her phone should have been the first requirement to reconciliation. Also, if they still work together, the affair is continuing. If you really plan on staying you need to let the affair partner's wife know what is going on. 2 sets of eyes on them are better than 1. Plus, she deserves to know who she is married to. She wants to stay in the marriage and try and work on things, or so she says. Her remorse comes and goes. She's crazy, I'm well aware of it now, so she's probably not genuine. I told her she needs individual counseling. If she doesn't do it by the end of the week, then I'm going to start papers Monday. I didn't tell her that. I wanted to see if she would do it on her own. This is all still surreal to me, so I'm trying not to bombard myself with too much at once. I'm going to tell the AP's wife, so maybe that'll just rip the band-aid off for me. And now for the update. FYI, this is a very emotionally dynamic post. It changed from advice, to progress, to need support multiple times. I apologize for the rambling. It's been about 3.5 weeks since D-Day now. I paid the retainer this week and will be going in today to sign some stuff. I'm going to take a decent hit because she doesn't make hardly any money, but I'll manage, as long as I can somehow negotiate me keeping the house. I ended up telling AP's wife and we stayed in contact for a couple weeks trying to figure out what we could. They both had the same story of not being physical, just the texts, pictures, and videos. He did tell his wife that he could have done whatever with her because she was so persistent and he couldn't go through with it, but who knows? Doesn't make a difference to me, but they are trying to work it out, so more power to them. They still work together, but my soon-to-be ex says they don't speak, still doesn't make a difference for me. Our living situation is becoming frustrating. At first, I thought we would maybe try and work things out. We're both in individual counseling, but I told her last weekend I wanted a divorce and would like her to move in with her mom, where she will inevitably end up going because she can't afford anything on her own yet. She said she's not leaving because that means she's taking the blame for all of this and she refuses. I want to keep the house because I don't have anywhere else to uproot as quick as she could, and our house is a goldmine with an unfinished addition I quit working on last month. She said I neglected her so much and was only committed to work, grad school, home projects, etc. It's difficult for me to not lose it when she still continues to downplay her actions. She says that our marriage has been a wreck for as long as she can remember and that she would rather be poor and feel wanted than rich and feel neglected. I have been leaving work early and picking up our daughter more and giving her baths at night more. It's not that I didn't want to before, I just worked late a lot and I just thought she enjoyed doing that stuff more. I told her my mistakes stayed inside our family where she went outside of it, but she still refuses to believe our mistakes were different. I feel like I can admit I lacked in the husband department, but I don't want to believe I wasn't a good father. We were planning to sell our house this month and living at her mom's while we built on property we were supposed to buy this month too. I was leaving for officer training in August with the Air National Guard. I was supposed to take my board's exam the 22nd of this month. I also picked up a PT consulting job just to get some extra money for vacation this summer. I know I stretched myself thin, I have always done that. I'm only 26 and I know I've accomplished so much, but it honestly feels like it was all for nothing. All of these plans are shattered and she says they were always my plans, not hers. I tried asking her opinion on so many things and her response was always I don't know. So I always made the decisions with job changes, moving, finances, etc. I just feel so lost in life now, and wish I knew what the future looked like. I still think about if it's worth sticking it out because her family is the only family I have too, and it's going to be very difficult to let that go on top of all the other changes. I know deep down it probably wouldn't work out though. I'm a planner and I try to have short-term and long-term plans. Obviously I know things change, but this scenario has completely wrecked my train of thought, and I honestly have no idea what to do with anything anymore. One thing I don't think she understands that this is all on her. You are not a mind reader. One thing is you have to have difficult conversations if you are not happy. It doesn't matter if she feels neglected. She should have let you know and offer suggestions. That is what married people do and communicate. Her willingness to gaslight you and not taking responsibility for her actions shows she has no empathy. You can smack her hard and shake her out of it by serving her. Go for 50% or more child support. If she wants to reconcile, you can do postnup that will reduce any future alimony drastically if you are going to get hit hard. Best of luck. Her willingness to gaslight you and not taking responsibility for her actions shows she has no empathy. Pretty much what I came to say. She doesn't get to decide what a betrayal is to you. Make sure you get ADT, change the locks, and have the cops to toss her out if she won't leave when you split officially. Give her no courtesy. She's still abusing your waning love to try and leverage the home from you. I know you're considering it, but do not reward her for being horrible. That she would rather be poor and feel wanted, than rich and feel neglected. When she said that, she told you all you need to know to make an informed decision. She told you that no matter how good you provide, how much love you give her and your daughter, no matter how much you suffer to be a good dad and husband, as soon as she feels neglected, she will start another affair. If you ever have a cough or fever, she might feel neglected. You break your bone or have to go on a working trip for a week, she will feel neglected. You want to go out with the boys to drink a beer, she will feel neglected. Her whole behavior and what she says makes one thing clear. She thinks that the affair was the right thing to do, doesn't regret it and even blames you for it. She is already now setting herself up for her next affair. That is also what your future will look like if you stay with her. You know all you need to know to make an informed decision. Good luck and stay strong. This is it. Also, she chose to put her efforts into getting what she wanted rather than putting those same efforts into trying to fix what she felt was broken. She wouldn't really rather be poor and wanted or she would have ended your relationship. She's rather be dishonest and get what she wants. My ex-wayward wife sang a very similar tune. Blamed me, blamed our unhealthy marriage, etc. The truth is that, there are many people out there in unhealthy marriages with unhealthy husbands or wives. And those people never cheat. Why is that? Because they aren't cheaters, and many would choose to end the relationship before cheating, because they aren't selfish and they actually respect their partners. And also, there are many husbands and wives out there who have great healthy spouses, and they choose to cheat. Why? Because they are selfish and they don't respect their spouses. It is a really poor defense to blame the marriage for your choice to cheat. Next time it feels natural, I'd bring this up, and say there are plenty of people in unhappy/unhealthy relationships who never cheat, so her cheating is still about her, and will never be defensible or justifiable to anyone with half a brain. It took me a few weeks to convince myself that. I know it's true, but since she's still here basically tormenting me every chance she gets, I start questioning myself again. That's why I posted back on here. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.